Hey, welcome. Have you ever stopped to think about what's actually going on when you send an email or stream a movie? It really feels like magic, but I promise you it's not. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain on the two pieces of tech that basically run our entire modern world, the internet and the cloud. Let's dig in and see how it all really works. So, let's start with a simple question. Or is it simple? Where does the internet actually live? The answer is pretty fascinating. See, it doesn't live in one single place. In a very real way, it lives everywhere, all at once. And we're going to explore exactly how that's even possible. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle the basics of the global web itself. Then, we're going to follow a single piece of your data on its wild ride. After that, we'll jump into the cloud, see how it's changing, well, everything. And finally, we'll get a little peek into the future. Okay, first up, the global web. The biggest clue to understanding the internet is right there in the name. It's not one single thing. It's a massive, sprawling, interconnected web of smaller networks all talking to each other. So at its heart, the internet isn't really a place. It's more like an agreement. It's a universal language, a set of rules that lets your phone in, say, Japan, talk to a server in Brazil as if they were sitting right next to each other. It's all about that connection. And believe me, this did not happen overnight. It all started way back in the 60s with a US military project called ARPANET. But the real game changer, the explosion, happened in 1991. That's when the World Wide Web, the websites and browsers we actually use, was opened up to the public. And that's a super important distinction. The web runs on the internet. They're not the same thing. And today? Well, today there are over 5 billion of us all connected. It's incredible.
Okay, so we get it. The internet connects us. But how? How does a photo you're emailing to a friend actually get from your screen to theirs? Let's follow that photo on its amazing journey across the entire globe, which, by the way, takes less than a second.
So here's the secret. The internet doesn't just send your photo in one giant file. That would be crazy slow and super unreliable. Instead, it uses this brilliant method called packet switching. Just imagine you're trying to mail a giant painting. Instead of trying to find a box big enough, you cut it up into hundreds of postcard-sized pieces. You number them, and you mail them all separately. That's packet switching. And here's exactly how it works. First, your computer chops that photo up into little packets. Then, each and every packet gets stamped with the destination IP address. It's just like a mailing address. Next, routers, which are kind of like the traffic cops of the internet, direct each packet on the fastest, most efficient path available at that exact millisecond. They might not even all go the same way. And then finally, they all arrive at their destination and get reassembled in the right order. And all of this happens in the blink of an eye. Wild, right? Now, think about it. You and I don't type long strings of numbers into our browser, do we? We type friendly names like google.com. Well, we can thank the Domain Name System, or DNS, for that. It's literally the internet's address book. It translates the human-friendly name we type in into the computer-friendly IP address that those packets need to find their way home. Honestly, without DNS, the internet would be a mess to use.
Now, when your browser goes to get that website, it's using a protocol, usually HTTP, but you've probably seen that little S at the end, HTTPS. That S is a really, really big deal. It stands for secure. It means your connection is encrypted. It's all scrambled up into a secret code. This is what makes it safe to do things like online banking or shopping. So pro tip, always look for that little padlock and the S in the address bar. Okay, so we know how data travels, but where is it all going? More and more these days, the answer is the cloud. And no, it's not some fluffy white thing floating up in the sky. It is very real, it's very physical, and it has basically become the internet's new brain. To put it really simply, cloud computing just means you're renting someone else's computer. That's it. Instead of keeping all your photos and software on your own local hard drive, you're using these massive, unbelievably powerful servers that live in huge buildings called data centers all over the world, and you get to them over the internet. So how do they do this on such a mind-boggling scale? Well, the secret sauce is a technology called virtualization. Here's how to think about it. Virtualization lets someone take one super powerful physical server and digitally slice it up into dozens of smaller, totally independent virtual computers. It's kind of like turning one giant mansion into a bunch of separate apartment units. This efficiency is the magic that makes the whole cloud model work. And just so you know, not all clouds are created equal. You've got your public cloud, like Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud, which is shared by lots of different people. Then there's the private cloud, which is built for just one single organization. And, you guessed it,
A hybrid cloud is just a mix of both, letting companies get the best of both worlds.
So, this new ability to just rent computing power has totally revolutionized how businesses work. We've shifted from this model of buying and owning all your own IT gear to just renting whatever you need as a service. This whole as a service idea usually gets broken down into three main types. And honestly, the best way to get it is with a kitchen analogy. First, there's infrastructure as a service, or IaaS. That's like renting a totally empty kitchen. You get the space, the electricity, the water, but you have to bring your own ovens and pans. Then there's platform as a service, or PaaS. That's like renting a kitchen that already has the ovens and tools ready to go. You just show up with your ingredients and start cooking. And finally, software as a service, SaaS. That's just ordering takeout. You get the fully prepared meal delivered to you. Things you use every day like Gmail or Office 365 are perfect examples of SaaS.
So why is literally everyone moving to the cloud? Well, the advantages are huge. You don't have to spend a fortune buying your own servers to get started. You can launch a new idea in minutes, not months. If your app suddenly goes viral overnight, you can just instantly add more power. And you can reach a worldwide audience right from day one. It's a game changer. But, it's not all perfect. There are some real challenges. For one, you obviously need a good, constant internet connection. And when you hand your data over to someone else, that brings up some valid questions about privacy and security. And while it's cheap to start, the costs can really add up if you're not careful. And hey, if your cloud provider has a bad day and goes down, well, you go down with them. It's all a trade-off.
The thing is, the cloud isn't just a place to store your vacation photos anymore. It has become the foundation, the launch pad for the next huge wave of tech innovation. So what's coming next?
The future that's being built on the cloud right now is just so exciting. You've got AI as a service, which is making machine learning available to everybody, not just giant companies. There's edge computing, which moves the processing power closer to where it's needed. Think about a self-driving car that needs to make a decision in a split second. And then there's serverless computing, which lets developers just write code without ever having to think about the servers it runs on. And all of it is being connected by the Internet of Things, that massive network of smart devices all powered by the cloud. And let's be clear, this is not some small niche market we're talking about. The numbers are absolutely staggering. With a projected value of over $2 trillion, the cloud isn't just changing technology, it's fundamentally reshaping the entire global economy.
And at the end of the day, this isn't some abstract tech for big companies. It's the invisible engine running behind almost everything you do online. The shows you binge watch, the photos you share on social media, the games you play with friends, even this explainer you're watching right now. It's all being delivered to you through the cloud. So really, it comes down to this. The internet gives us the connection, but the cloud gives that connection a brain. It's the platform, the foundation, where the next generation of world-changing ideas will be built. It's not just a piece of our world anymore, it is the foundation of our digital world. So, we started with a simple question: where does the internet live? And we've ended up with the fundamental building blocks of our entire digital age. These tools are more powerful and more accessible than they have ever been in human history. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build with them?